Yes, sure. No problem with that.
Catching up on all the other things. I gotta. Good.
Do his background.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Gates County Board of Commissioners regular scheduled meeting. I'm Emily Truman. I serve as the 2026 Board Chair. Tonight I'm joined by Vice Chair Nathan Berryman, Commissioner Jonathan Craddock, Commissioner Brian Roundtree, Commissioner Dave Forsyth, County Manager Scott Sauer, County Attorney Pitt Godwin, and Clerk of the Board Renee Draper. We also have another attorney here with us tonight, Mr. Thomas Lutz. So I am going to ask Commissioner Roundtree if he will provide the invocation for the pledge, the invocation and the pledge.
Let's pray. Dear Lord, we thank you, Lord, for the gathering of government, local government today to address, Lord, the concerns of our community and of our county. We ask you, Lord, to give us wisdom, give us direction, Lord. We acknowledge you in everything that we do. Help us, Lord, to be successful. Help us to work together in unison. We thank you, Lord, for good success. We thank you for prosperity. We thank you for productiveness. And we bless your name. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, before we go any further, if we could get a motion to approve the agenda unless we have changes needed.
Madam Chair, so moved.
All right.
So second.
All in favor? All right, so that is unanimous. And moving on to the consent agenda, are there any amendments or clarifications for the items listed? And if not, if we could get a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. All right, so we are now moving into, first on the agenda, we have special presentations, and that is from the Board of Education. So we're going to ask if Chair Byram will come to the podium and present the final budget on behalf of the Board of Education.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Mr. Chair, Mr. Forsyth, Mr. Roundtree, and Mr. Craddock, and also our distinguished gentleman at the other end. We have Mr. Godwin and Mr. Wood, and the very special guest over here, Mr. Sauer. Really good to be here today. Thank you. Really is good to be here. At your place this evening, you have a new formatted capital and also proposed local funding request before you. I don't know if you've had a chance to look over it or had any idea. Did you, Mr. Berman?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I hope that you will look over this with you. I can tell you that this board right here has worked very diligently and very hard to curb and cut our budget down. We have got it down to the $2,988,000. There was one request that we could not do, and that was the $100,000 putting it in as a recurring expense for the Chromebooks. Chromebooks for the state are classified as a capital asset, and therefore they could not be put in the local funding. So when you go to look at the capital outlay, you will see that it's $200,000, $100,000 for Mr. Green, and then $100,000 for Mr. Smith for the Chromebooks. And unfortunately, we couldn't change that. We did make a lot of changes into this, and you will see that there are a lot of changes in this. We also added a guided sheet to this, which will give you the 4 remaining schools that are open and what number they represent if you look at it on the schedule sheets, especially if you're looking for supplements, okay? And also if you're looking at teachers and what salaries are being paid out of the local funding, like point at maintenance, transportation, and also our EC director too in that too. So if you have any questions, feel free to look through it a few minutes, and I'll be glad to stand here and listen to you. Any questions? I'll try to answer any questions that you have.
I know, I mean, at first glance in comparison here, you can definitely see the cuts. I want to say thank you. I know that you have met at least 30 hours collectively since we met last. So just thank you for the work that you guys have done and put in the time. It's appreciated. Did y'all have any?
And just so that some items might point out to you, we moved $13,000 from the Office of the Superintendent over to the board summary. That is the membership dues paid to the North Carolina School Board Association, and that is based on our ADM that we have.
Okay.
Okay?
Do we have?
The only thing jumps out at me, I haven't had a chance to go through it really well, is so this capital outlay that y'all list, you talked about the 200,000 instead of 100. Is that in order of priority? It's not really numbered, but is that descending order of priority?
In the back portion here,
Yeah.
you will see a letter from Mr. Green,
Okay, in the back. Okay.
which is right here, this page that looks like this.
Okay.
Okay? And if you will see the top section there, $21,000 down to $7,000 will be consisted of the $100,000 and how he prioritized, how he would like to spend the $100,000 that you're giving us.
I see it now. Thank you.
And he actually put the wastewater pump and also the painting as the majority along with asphalt overlay at T.S. Cooper Elementary. And that's not the new section adding to that. That's for the existing outlay of going up through the circular drive to drop off students at that area at T.S. Cooper Elementary School. And I think that's probably 90% of what makes up that $100,000, Mr. Forsythe.
Yep, I see it.
And then he's kind of listed some other things that he'd like to, a little later on, like to look at, prioritizing at a later date.
Okay. All right, thank you. Did we have any?
I see that the office of the superintendent, you've reduced the budget for that as well.
Yes, we did.
So am I correct in stating now that his stated salary is going to be paid out to exactly what it was in his contract?
Yes, actually, we did reduce that from $64,000 that we requested earlier to $50,000.
Okay. All right. Look at the rest of the board for any questions or comments while we're flipping through.
Yes, I have a question that came from one of my constituents. And I told my constituent I would address this question to the board. Reduction in force, what's the demographics for the reduction in force? And how was that reduction in force, what was the criteria for the reduction in force?
The criteria, we started out with licensure as the first item. Those employees who had that current license were listed as being saved. Those that had been working for years and years on their obtaining their license, we had gone on for several years, and we just felt like that we just could not take that. And that was part of the RIF program that we did. We were able to save about $800,000 after we met after the April 29th meeting here, and cutting employees. We did have to move some employees for classroom sizes. We do have 4 vacancies in the elementary level that are there for teaching positions. If kindergarten, for example, comes up at T.S. Cooper, that we do need more than 2 kindergarten teachers, then we will address that and fill that position too. But that was included in part of the RIF part, the vacancy. But we would have to go back and readjust it.
Right. And also they were specific, they said the African Americans, how many percentage-wise was eliminated in the RIF or considered being eliminated in the RIF?
How many eliminated?
Well, the percentage.
Let's see, we did not fill the current director's position that retired recently. We took an existing employee and hired them according to the state of North Carolina. You do have to have somebody designated as director of testing. So that filled us in there, and we were able to save money by doing that too. We also, the state will, they give us a pot of money for the central office, and we had to cut back some on that too, but for the upcoming year.
But what was the percentage African Americans? They asked.
African American?
Right, that was considered being eliminated with the RIF, reduction in force.
Well, I didn't really look at it as the African American.
Right, that was that question.
Well, I know that is your question, but since you brought it to my attention,
Yes.
when we did the RIF, the school board were not given a name. We were only given a position, okay? And I would say that probably 60% of it represented African American. After we discovered that, we made our decision. The board did not make their final decision on RIF until last Wednesday, and I called for that vote because there was so much concerns going on within the school system and also the community, and I just felt like it needed to be done. And all four of us agreed to it, of the remaining four, so it passed unanimous. So, but as far as looking at race or color or the color of your skin, that was not used in justifying why. In order to do the RIF, you have 5 criteria to follow, and we met those. We established the 5 criteria that we wanted to do prior to looking at any names or any race. Okay.
Yes.
We are hoping that we have some teacher assistant positions that are still there and still need to be filled, that are still on the allotment for us to fill. We're hoping that somebody might can fill in that position too. But now I do know on one of the employees, the criteria for the grant that was at the high school for the behavioral support, that was, we lost money on that. We were getting $100,000. And last year they changed the criteria based on needs for the county. And unfortunately, Gates County did not meet some of the needs and the criteria of prioritizing the point system. So we lost on that. We only got like a little over $50,000 on that. So that took a dramatic hit against us. It's not saying that the grant is due the end of this month. We are still going to apply for the grant, and we're hoping that we'll still get additional monies from that too. But I don't think that the point system will change any at all.
Thank you, sir. Really
Okay.
appreciate it.
All right.
Any other questions?
Do you have any other questions?
I don't have any questions, but I wanted to thank Mr. Brown, you and the rest of the board of your long hours that y'all spent on this. Y'all had to make a lot of hard decisions to get through all this, and I want to say thank you to the school board to get us to this point, and thank you.
Right. Well, Mr. Hale and I met with Mr. Harold this morning too, so I really truly appreciate him picking up these additional packets here, because I had to take my wife to the doctor, so, and I've been running. And I apologize for not dressing up.
No, you're fine.
Okay?
Didn't dress up myself. You're fine.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right.
That was
If you
all.
have any questions, feel free to give us a call.
Okay.
We're only a phone call away, and it's the taxpayers' records as well as it's your records, and we're there to provide the public with any questions that need to be asked
Yeah. So.
and
okay.
answered, okay?
We appreciate it.
All right,
Thank you.
thank
Thank you so much.
We did work hard.
We can tell. Thank you. Right, next, and I usually check in beforehand, but Sheriff Campbell, if he has any updates, is he in here? No? Okay. So we will go past that. Next on is public comments. So Ms. Schraber, if we have anyone signed up to speak. All right. So we have our 5-minute comment period for agenda items. There will be another comment period at the end for 3-minute comment period for non-agenda items. And then if you could just come up and state your name and voting district, sir.
Okay, we couldn't hear that well out there. Can you hear me? Yes. All right, I'm gonna try to do better. I want to thank you, Emily, to me, But anyway, thank you for allowing me to speak. And before, with the county commissioners and the school board in a joint meeting. I appreciate it. And we're gathering here in this historic courthouse, which has been repurposed. I'm going to come back to that term, for meetings and offices. That's what you've done with this, I see. But I'm going to come back to that word. And it's so important for these two boards to meet together and do what you just did. I think it's so important to our community and the things that happen in education and other things. And what I heard sounded good, because anyway. The reason we're here is to make sure that our kids receive the best education services possible. And currently, Buckland Elementary is scheduled to change its purpose. However, I would like to provide you with some additional thoughts. I came to Buckland as principal in 1971, 1 year after total integration. Buckland was built in 1951 with the black high school, T.S. Cooper, 1951. They were built, if you look at the buildings, they're very similar in structure and what they're made of. And today, Buckland is in better condition than it was in 1971 when I came. And we, of course, we've had new additions to Buckland, a new media center, a new K-1 building, a new lunchroom. These are things we didn't have when I was first there. And improvements this summer just made all the difference in the world. One of the contractors there told me, because I was visiting as they were doing it, he said, you know, we can't build buildings like this anymore. And he said that in a positive manner. They don't make them like that anymore, out of materials and the long-lasting materials like Buckland and T.S. Cooper. And so many good things are happening at all our schools. I didn't used to do Facebook, but now I do. And I see all the good things that they put them out there, and oh, it's wonderful. I just eat it up every time I see it. You probably don't know this, but I served as principal at Buckland and Gatesville for 3 years. I know Brian knows. For 3 years, I went back and forth half a day each and served as principal at both schools. We were Buckland, Gatesville Eagles at the time. And that kind of goes back to the Buckland High School, when it was a high school. And the county was divided in half at the time. My wife, Sue, retired as a secretary at Gatesville School. And my kids all went through Buckland and Gatesville, just like it was Sunbury and T.S. Cooper. All my kids went through there, and my grandkids in Gatesville, some of my grandkids. In the last few weeks, with the focus on Buckland, I've witnessed and listened to comments that were made by people and read on social media. They had a celebration at Buckland. I knew that people cared about that school, but I didn't know how much. It's so deep and so wide, and I found out how much. When I went to the celebration, I got out of my car at 5 o'clock for a 5:30 meeting. And at 6:30, I had not made it to the front door. That's true. It was people that had been there, worked there, and I even saw some that had been there before I got there and actually graduated from there. I saw your mama's picture. At 1952. Isn't that right? First graduating class?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And of course, Emily and Jonathan and Brian went to Buckland. So they've been through that building themselves. When I came to Buckland, I wanted parents, this is a year after integration. I was very young. proud to send their kids to that school, no matter what. I wanted them to feel good about coming to that school. And from what you see today and things I've heard in the last few days, I think that goal was met. Because all I hear are things where they're hurt, that it's going to be closed, that kids aren't going to be able to continue going there. And I didn't know how deep it was and how wide, but it is. It is. Our current school board is made up of 5 members. These 5, they're here today. But at the time the vote was taken as to what course to take, there were only 3 members present, 3 members voting. Buckland area, and I think part of you were that area that some of the kids come to Buckland, they were not represented in that vote. So it was 2-1 to close Buckland. And I call it repurpose, it's not close. So what I'm requesting is that a vote be taken to keep all 3 schools for 26 and 27 with the support of the county commissioners, because that may change some things you heard tonight. It may change funding that's needed to keep that in place. But I can tell you that the people in that area and people all over Gates County, because Buckland parents and children are all over this county, not just in that little spot. But I can tell you those that have direct contact with the school and have had, you know, they're willing to pay a few extra pennies on their tax to keep those 3 buildings in operation. I guarantee you, if a vote was held, it would pass overwhelmingly. I guarantee you. If we can't have all 3 schools, if that's not possible, then what I'm suggesting is that Gates will be closed. It's in the county seat. Gatesville School is located in the county seat. To be used as the community center, the senior center, county offices, including and closing many of the offices, including the Board of Education office and others that would save money. The community center is going to cost how many million? A new community center? There are resources in that building to do it. And if we had offices there, people could, I've heard this said, one-stop shop. You come to Gatesville County seat, all the offices are all in that one spot. And you could cover a lot of your business without having to travel very far. So what I'm asking is to reconsider the vote and keep all 3 schools. Again, may take some extra money from the county commissioners, but I assure you our area would vote to do it. And if it's got to be 2 buildings, let Gatesville be the one in the county seat that's repurposed and used for things that you're already thinking about spending millions on. I'm saying you won't have to. You could use that. It's already here. Repurpose it and save a lot of money. I know you're getting grants for things too. But if whatever building is not active next year, and if it's repurposed, it needs to be maintained, kept up, so that it's ready for whatever use may come. I want to thank you so much for your time. I've got a wife that was that secretary at Gatesville School that's had back surgery, and she's not feeling so good, so she needs my attention. So I'll be leaving as soon as I think there's another person that wants to speak. And that's why I'm leaving, not because I don't want to hear the rest of it.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Greger.
Do we have someone else signed up?
We do. Rose Lee.
All right, Ms. Lee. You could state your name and voting district.
My name is Rose Taylor Lee, and I am in the Reynoldson District. And I stand before you tonight as a 29-year veteran of public school teacher, a mother of 3 daughters and multiple cousins that are in the Gates County school system, and someone who has dedicated my entire professional life to public education and to children. Over the course of my career, I've been honored to receive Teacher of the Year for my school 5 times and County Teacher of the Year once, and I do not say that to boast. I say it because I want you to understand that I have spent nearly 3 decades inside classrooms, inside schools, and inside communities. I have watched school systems succeed, and I have watched them struggle, and tonight I'm deeply concerned about the direction Gates County Schools is heading. I am here tonight to ask this board and our county commissioners to reconsider the closing of Buckland Elementary School. I understand that difficult financial decisions sometimes must be made. I understand enrollment numbers are changing. I understand budgets are tight, but before dismantling a whole school, dismantling a staff, and dismantling a community, every possible avenue must be first explored thoroughly and transparently. In my opinion, this district has not been a good steward of funding and resources, and before asking this community to sacrifice one of its schools, there are important questions that deserve answers, and some have been answered this evening. When was the last complete audit of every position in the district? I do believe they have provided some information on that this evening. How many positions are state funded versus county funded? Have we truly compared our staffing structures and spending practices with Camden, with Currituck, Elizabeth City, Pasquotank, Evanston, Chowan? Have we done that? Okay. For example, in neighboring counties, and I've done this research, many middle schools operate efficiently with a bookkeeper and a data manager handling receptionist duties as well. That is only one example. My point is this: have we truly exhausted every option before deciding to close a whole elementary school? Because once you close a school, the damage cannot easily be undone. We also need to have an honest conversation about why are families losing trust in Gates County schools? Why are families leaving? There are so many of us from the class of '93 here. That was never an option when we came through of where you went to school, okay? Why are they leaving? Why are parents seeking other educational options? Why are students not staying in our system? Those are difficult questions, but they're necessary. If we continue down a path where public confidence declines, consolidation alone will not save the district. And if consolidation truly becomes necessary after every possible alternative has been explored, then there absolutely must be a concrete, detailed, long-term plan in place before any school closes its doors. All 3 elementary schools deserve to remain open until a complete consolidation plan is developed, presented publicly, and provided by the citizens of Gates County. Our community deserves transparency. Parents deserve a voice. Teachers deserve a voice. And the people most affected by these decisions deserve to know exactly what the future will look like before these decisions are made. Right now, there's too many unanswered questions. This district desperately needs to look towards the future instead of simply reacting to a crisis. We need alternative educational settings for students who struggle in traditional classrooms because of behavioral challenges. We need to explore opportunities like an early college program that could attract families and provide stronger opportunities for our students. We need innovation. Instead, we're preparing to close another community school. And I cannot help but think about Sunbury School. That beautiful building once served children and families with pride. I have danced on that stage. Today, it sits deteriorating, unusable. We allowed a valuable community structure to become an eyesore. Are we preparing to do the same again? Are we? Because empty school buildings do not strengthen communities, they weaken them. And vacant buildings can also attract charter schools into this county, our public school system cannot afford that to happen. Right now, it feels like we're sailing a sinking ship, and I have very little confidence in the leadership navigating these waters. But what makes the situation even harder for many citizens to accept is that this decision was made by a 2-1 vote from board members who do not represent the Buckland area. Whether intentional or not, many people in this community feel unheard and unrepresented, and then we look at the actual data. According to last year's school report card, Howard Buckland Elementary did not receive a D grade. Buckland scored a 57, not a 49. According to the most recent teacher working conditions survey, which I emailed to all of you, Buckland Elementary scored the highest overall among schools in this county, yet this is the school being dismantled. You're dismantling a staff that's poured their hearts into children every day. You are dismantling a school where students cry when they think about not returning to Panda Nation. You are dismantling relationships, traditions, a sense of belonging that cannot simply be transferred to another building. And perhaps most importantly, you're dismantling a school that represents a significant part of the African American history, heritage, and identity of Gates County, and that matters. A school is just not brick and mortar. It is just not numbers on a spreadsheet. A school is community, history, relationships, pride, and home. Tonight, I urge you to slow down, reevaluate this decision, explore every possible alternative, listen to the voices of this community before making a decision that will permanently alter the future of Gates County. Because once those doors close, we may never open them again. And in my classroom, I ask my students every day to learn from their mistakes. Every day, I ask my students to learn from their mistakes. And that's a very valuable lesson. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, okay. All right, so we have the public comments. There are no further signed up. We're now going to move into old business with the budget discussions for the county budget for fiscal year 26-27. So we're going to open the floor to commissioners for discussion regarding the budget here in a second. I'm going to just put out my thoughts here at the beginning, and we can go into y'all's questions right after that. I'm struggling with the 3-cent tax increase. I feel like we've asked the Board of Education to make cuts, and we've emphasized the declining ADM and asked them to hold to a certain dollar amount in budget. And we have a declining population. I don't feel that we can in turn ask for a tax increase to make our budget suit. I think that we need to do what we've asked them to do and take a hard look at our budget and make the cuts that we need to make in order to balance our budget without a tax increase. And that's just my thoughts on the forefront. I feel like we can't ask them to do something that we aren't willing to do ourselves. So I'm going to open that up to y'all with that thought on the forefront for me.
Yes, I look forward to our work session that we have scheduled for this week. So I think a lot of information is going to be ferreted out from that, and where we go from here. There is some things that through discussion and policies that has been put in place throughout the year with the recent adoption of the manuals and everything, that's increased some costs, and we all understand that. We knew that when we were talking about it. What I would like to see, so that way we can have a pretty good discussion as far as county staffing and where we're at with that, is more of a generalized org chart through the county, and so we can sit down and talk about that and where the proposed new positions would be, how they would support the positions that are currently there, and the thoughts behind some of that. So I would like to delve into that a little bit more, and having a org chart would kind of clear that up for me a little bit more. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I go along with everything you said. I've communicated that to all the board members here. My concerns, there's a host of them I think we need to talk about. The tax rate, tax increase, I'm wholeheartedly against that. I'll say that up front. I do think we can support a cost of living increase for our employees. It seems uniform across the region that cities are given 3% this year. I think one of the commissioners pointed out that the consumer price index is slightly above 3%. For the Southeast region, nationally, it's below 3%, has been about 2%. So there's actually a couple of municipalities that are only doing a 2%. So we need to keep that in mind. I think there's several items in the proposed budget that I think we need to take a hard look at. Creating new positions at a time when the county hasn't grown in population, adding more bodies adds burden, bureaucratic burden. I'm wholeheartedly against that without justification. We talked about that last year. We now have the ability to track overtime and comp time work by employees, and I think that has to be the basis, at least participate in the discussion. And I think that's important to have the data that says we really need this extra body because people are working overtime, they're being overworked, and we need another body. It has to be based on something other than we just think we want one more. And so that's just a few of the items. There's some other special appropriations, special groups, funding, again, overlapping of services I don't support, and so I look forward to it. And then the last thing, too, is talking about prices increasing. I appreciate the county manager responded with a narrative, which truthfully was like a PhD level narrative of our sales tax and refunds from the state and everything. I'd like for us to be able to get a clearer picture of how that projection is done exactly, because a lot of it we project cost to increase our taxes is based upon what we think we're going to get in money. And while this year there has been a lot more decline in people going out and spending money for several months, in the last couple of months it's jacked up gigantically, and some counties have seen actually a bumper crop of sales tax revenues coming in. And so I'd hate for us to propose a sales tax if in fact we're going to be very healthy on sales tax. There may not be a reason to do that. I think we need to have a real strong discussion about that. I don't take it lightly. I've had people, tell me, oh, a small sales tax is no big deal. It's only X amount of dollars. Well, X amount of dollars for one person is tremendously harder for some folks than it is for others. And so I don't want to take it lightly adding cost. So going on, but I just want to say I'm not prepared remotely to vote on anything until we get through some serious work session issues. So.
Yes, my concern about the budget is our people. Our people are our resources, and we must look out for our resources to be productive and to be efficient. And I'm looking at the increase, perhaps for the workforce, 5%. And you may say, wow, 5%? Yes, because, like I said, they're our most valuable resource, and for retention's sake, we need to do accordingly, because we're in the region, and our best and our brightest are being recruited throughout the region, even across state lines. So it's essential that we look out for our assets, that we will have assets, well, our personnel, that we will have them in place to conduct the duties that need to be done in local government. So that's a very essential part for me, taking care of our people. Another thing, like the other commissioner said, we need to go through the work sessions, look at the details, seeing where we can cut costs and be more efficient, being lean and mean and taking care of business so that we can serve the county as a whole. But our first, number one, in my opinion, our first number one resource are our people. And if we don't look out for our people, we will not be productive. Thank you.
All right. Yes, sir.
Is there anything else left to say?
You can
That's why I
find
always
it.
like going last.
Yeah.
Because my four colleagues sitting up here, they all have they're all 100% correct. We've got to, it's a balancing act that we have to do. We have to look out for our people that work here. We also got to look out for our constituents. Mm-hmm. So it's a balancing act, and we're going to balance it. We always do. This would be my fifth budget, and it always works out. We have in the past years tried to stick with a 5% COLA to get our salaries up in range, and that's how we were able to do it, and some other little increases here and there. But we're going to have to look at some averages in the region, what other counties are looking like, so we can find that happy medium so we can still retain our good employees. Because we have an excellent team, and it hasn't happened overnight. It's taken years to get it where it's at, and we do need to keep it there. But we do have to look out for all our constituents, our tax base. Mm-hmm. Projections, I'm looking for William, there he is. I would let him look after my 401k. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's good. He's spot on his projections. So he's been doing it for many years, and Scott's been doing it for many years. So we're in good hands. We just got to go back to the drawing board and tighten up our margins a little bit and take a little bit out of this pot, a little bit out. It's all one big piece of pie.
Yeah.
It just depends on how you slice it. So, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. No, and I will say, like, one of my things that I did initially was go through and just kind of see where our plus and minuses were. And out of 47 departments, and I only say 47 because 2 I've overlooked somewhere in here, so there are 49, but 47 departments, 12 of those stayed at 0% change.
Yeah.
11 of them were savings from the previous budgets they presented. 15 had less than 10% of an increase that they asked for this year, and only 9 had greater than a 10% increase that they were asking for from last year's budget. So our department heads have done really well at trying to stay constrained to it. I know like the greatest increase is community colleges, and that's something that we're doing to try and breathe something to Gates County for Gates County to thrive a little more. So, but I do, with that being said, feel like there are still areas that we can probably cut, and those are what we're going to have to look into in the days to come, starting Wednesday, which at the end of the meeting, I'll go ahead and mention now, where we'll be adjourning, or recessing instead of adjourning, so that we can come back together at 2 o'clock on Wednesday, and it will be at the extension office across the street. We will have it recorded and posted as we do for work sessions, but when we're doing that type of thing, it is better when we're sitting in a circle and going through papers and asking questions and having that type of conversation. So we are attempting to be transparent with that and posting it, but it is the best format for those type of meetings. All right, so any other immediate questions? I'm going to say.
Can I just ask, there is anticipation. I appreciate the work the school board's done very much, I really do. We'll have a chance to maybe look at that a little bit. I mean, it looks way better and looks like a lot of detail, but just to talk about that maybe a little. Okay.
Right. And then I would ask, just putting out there for staff, if before Wednesday, if we could possibly get what the number would be if there were no additional positions added, for the added positions there. I'll look at William and.
Except for the one.
Except for the one for for the elections department, because they are giving up 2 part-time for
Right.
1 full-time. So that one is a give and
net
take.
zero.
And then,
Right.
Yeah, and we voted on the sheriff's department one. That we
Last
have
August.
to.
Yeah.
Two positions over there.
So, but yeah, anything beyond the ones that are, voted on there. All right. Well, budget discussions then, if we're coming to a close, we are going to turn to county manager for his update and report.
We have our
Okay.
work ahead of us. I have no report this evening, other than to say we are here to help the board be as comfortable as possible with the choices you are looking to make and the decisions that are warranted.
All right. That's good. We will do commissioner update. I haven't started with you in a long time. Let's start down
Go
here.
on too long, yeah.
Yeah,
I'll try and
let's
keep
start
it
down
quick.
here.
After last month's meeting, the Albemarle Commission Board of Delegates meeting the next night, and one of the key things I wanted to make note of is the fact that in reviewing our budget every month, we look at our expenditures. And right now, for the program they have for all 10 counties, the winterization, weatherization assistance program, they have $2.9 million sitting in there that is just not being taken advantage of. We really need to. But more specifically, the way they have a recurring program for other essential single-family housing repair program, there's $365,000 sitting in there. And for this year, the season closed right now. It's going to open up again, I think, in the fall. We only had 3 applicants from Gates County, not taking advantage of $365,000 in available money to do repairs. And I think that's important. We need to make sure we get that out. I'm actually hoping, looking at our clerk, that she can help us get some type of something on our board. Yeah, I want to make sure we push that out. The housing director over there is a very good guy, knows his stuff, and he's like, yeah, we were looking for a whole lot more people to be asking for this. But again, $365,000, I think it's us in Terrell County, so we're actually twice as big as them. So I think they had 2 applicants, we had 3. So we really need to be jumping up and taking advantage of that. So if you know somebody that's financially troubled, we'll say, if no other way to describe it, and in need, come fall, I think it's early fall, you can start applying for some of those repairs. And they showed, they actually, one Gates County resident who I see regularly on Facebook, a kind person, nice, I'll call her a religious lady, really kind person, they were able to help her out and did some urgent repairs for her home. And she was extremely thankful. She posted a thing for us and the board to see how grateful she was for all the work that was done. So we really should take advantage of that. That's the main thing I have I wanted to share with y'all.
Sounds good. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yes, I want to thank Commissioner Forsythe for accompanying me at T.S. Cooper Elementary School. We gave out constitutions to the students, They were very engaged, and Commissioner Forsythe gave some great information. Hats
Thank you.
off.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It was fun. It was fun.
The kids love you, and I believe they love me too a little bit. But anyway, it was a good educational
It was a good tag
experience.
team.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. It was
Dynamic
excellent.
duo.
Excellent. I'm going to thank the Board of Education also for your diligence. Hitting that projected 2.9, that was difficult to do.
Yeah.
So I want to thank the Board of Education and your diligence in accomplishing that. And I just want to thank Gates County as a whole. It's truly a blessing to serve on this board.
All right, thank you, sir.
I really don't have any updates for tonight, so thank
Okay.
y'all very much.
Well, that's fast.
On to echo off of what Mr. Raintree just said, Board of Education. Y'all really dug down deep, went into some uncharted territory that we hadn't seen in a while, and it does not go unnoticed. I know y'all spent a lot of time, a lot of effort, and it needed to be done, it had to be done, and y'all did a hell of a job at it.
Yes, you did.
And we appreciate it. We really do.
Yeah. It's wrong.
Right. Thank you, sir. Y'all are short-winded tonight. I'm okay with it. All right, so mine, just looking forward to the budget. We had that mentioned. I'm over here brainstorming. We talk about staff appreciation. Should I put the ask out there? I mean, I'm over here crunching numbers and doing different things. Between Board of Education staff and county staff, roughly how many would we say we have? 350 or so employees total between all of them? Would that be close to accurate, maybe?
Nobody's looking.
Anybody know?
Just
What's
about.
y'all's?
353,
I'm sorry?
approximately 353 employees.
That's for the school?
Yeah.
Okay. And what are
We've
the,
got just over 100.
110.
okay.
Wow.
So what?
460.
Okay. Quick math. Okay.
Oh,
Okay. No, my brainstorm was just, talk about that, and it has been a trying year for, I think, most staff in the county. I don't know if we could possibly work up a number, and if my board even supports it or not, to see if we could give a one-time bonus out of our general fund to the staff of Gates County. It doesn't have to be a significant number, but 500, 750, something like that would be a manageable thing to say thank you, and we appreciate you, and we see you, and we know it has been a tumultuous year for all of our staff. And that doesn't really hit the budget necessarily, but I think it would be a really good act of
Show me the money.
faith. Forsyth will not agree with me until he sees actual numbers, but I do think that our staff needs to be appreciated in some way for just the up and down roller coaster that we've kind of all been on in the past year. So if that number could also possibly be worked up out of general fund, I would appreciate that. And then lastly, we have had a resignation tendered to us from our county attorney. So Mr. Pitt Godwin will be serving with us through the end of June. And in closed session at our last meeting, we had, personnel talks, and we did collectively decide, just kind of consensus and talks, that we would like to move forward with appointing Mr. Thomas Wood as our acting county attorney come July 1, when Mr. Godwin's resignation is in effect. So we are excited to have a transition where our attorney is still right here in the county, across the street, and that he's been working closely with Mr. Godwin for years and is up to date on all of the happenings here in the county. So if I could entertain a motion to accept the resignation of Mr. Godwin for him to retire and enjoy life without us ringing his phone so often, and then appoint Mr. Wood as our next attorney.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that motion.
All right, all in favor? And that is unanimous. So thank you all. Now we will.
County advocacy days.
We do have county advocacy days, yes. So next week, I'm excited to say that we are all going, and that will be all 5 of our board members and all 5 of the Board of Education will be joining us for the County Advocacy Days in Raleigh, which is when we go and we talk to legislature about our needs. We have funding requests. We put out there a plan for our county. And I'm really excited about the opportunity for the 10 of us to go in together and how strong that is going to be for our county as we make these requests, as we cast our vision for Gates County, and as we ask them to come alongside us in helping us find funding to help some of these things come to fruition. So we are excited about that. We will have an update at our next meeting about any of those conversations that we can, and we'll get the packets just for transparency. Once we have the packets handed out and all at legislation, or to legislation, we'll have them posted online as well for transparency on what our requests are. I think that is all here. So do we have any end of meeting comments, in public comments? No?
Anybody wants to come?
Oh, maybe, I don't know. You look, okay. All right, so with no other comments, if we could entertain a motion to recess until Wednesday, June 3rd at 2 p.m. in the auditorium of the Extension Office at 112 Court Street.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? All right, we are in recess.
That's like a record, isn't it?